And welcome back, everybody, live to ANZ Stadium, the Olympic Stadium in Sydney, for the playing of State of Origin 3, the end of the 29th series. And the faithful Maroons are at one end of the ground, the Blues are at the other. And it's not such a bad crowd. It's been much talked about in the days and weeks leading up to this one, but there's a very healthy crowd here at ANZ Stadium to watch what is called a dead rubber. Queensland have won the championship 5 on end, and this tonight, of course, is their chance to make great even greater. Or New South Wales, on the other hand, issuing the warning that the dynasty is about to come to an end. What we are witnessing here is a team of champion Queensland players that have been moulded into a champion team, and Mal Meninga has played a large part in all of that. The Queenslanders about to leave the sheds. On the other side of this equation, we have a group of players from New South Wales with no less than 4 rookies trying to stop the avalanche, trying to regain credibility, trying, if you like, to halt the juggernaut. But no one, I think, has ever dared to compare, even remotely, with the greatness of the Lewis sides. But the reality of this series this year is that we are. So the fans are ready. The players still to come from the dressing rooms. It's Origin 90. It's the 17th at ANZ Stadium. Figures don't support this current governance enjoyed by the Maroons. 89 played, and they have won just 5 more. 29 series tonight will be completed, and Queensland has won just 3 more than the Blues. It comes in eras, doesn't it? It comes in periods. It comes in harvest. The Maroons one day, the Blues the very next.
Well, it's a golden harvest for Queensland at the moment. Talk coming down that they would expect everybody to be named in the Australian team. New South Wales players, they'll have something to say about that tonight. A couple of players coming back in that have been there before. Greg Bird, he actually has played 4 matches and been man of the match on 2 occasions. He'll add a little bit of grunt in the back row alongside Paul Gallen. Darren Lockyer starts his walk. Then he goes back to start again.
The captain has left the ship, and we're waiting for the crew to follow and hail King Lockyer. Why not? In fact, they don't have to look far for motivation, the Queenslanders, do they? This could be the last Origin for Darren Lockyer. It could be the last Origin for Petro Civoniceva, and certainly for Israel Folau, unless he doesn't like his newfound code, or in fact, if his newfound code doesn't like him. So the reception is coming for Queensland here in Sydney at ANZ Stadium. A whitewash has evaded them under the reign of Mal Meninga during the championship. Here's their welcome. And so Trent Barrett brings New South Wales out for his first captaincy. He debuted at club level in '96. Inside a year, he was chosen for Origin. This is his 7th and last series. For the sake of Trent Barrett, his family, and his thousands of admirers, may it be a winning one. So he takes them out proudly. There's another added motivation. Tomorrow is the actual 30th anniversary of Origin. When it started in 1980, on that very night, Mal Meninga turned 20. Tomorrow he turns 50. Could there be a better present to give one of the greatest of them all? So the players coming in now for the national anthem to be sung in front of, as I said, quite a good crowd. I'm rather surprised, to be honest with you. I was thinking it might have been rather embarrassing, but it doesn't look too bad, keeping in mind it's a massive stadium with a capacity of 80,000. Let's go now groundside for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight Advance Australia Fair will be sung in language shared by the Eora Nation and in English. Please stand for the national anthem of Australia. in history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for a moment's silence to remember Private Timothy Applin, Private Benjamin Chuck, and Private Scott Palmer, who tragically lost their lives in last month's helicopter crash in Afghanistan. All three were from the 2nd Commando Regiment based in Sydney, and all three were great fans of rugby league. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of Private Applin, Private Chuck, and Private Palmer, and with all of our troops overseas and at home. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank.
Well, there it was, the anthems done so much differently and so beautifully, and backed, of course, at all times by the Australian Youth Choir from the National Institute of Youth Performing Arts. So the staging to be dismantled. Brett Morris about to retire to his position on the field. The Queenslanders, who I think openly suggested they got their preparation for this corresponding match last year wrong. And I've given you all the points of motivation that they probably don't need, but they will take into this game tonight. I'm sure we're going to see a much different Queensland side in this third match of the 29th series. Still, the whitewash has eluded them. Paul Vorton's team was the last to do it in 1995 for Queensland. For New South Wales, the last was 2000. Petro is back tonight. Petro Civoniceva.
There we go.
I promised him I'd say it once or twice. We'll try it again later. But we don't want to have a case of a commentator leaving us through strangulation. Cameron Smith will kick off. So is this dominance supreme, or is this the resurrection for New South Wales? And bringing the ball back is one of the young prop forwards there, Kade Snowden. The youngest combination of prop forwards in a run. So put down by Gallen, and immediately Queensland get a great chance. So to the left side they go, to Thurston, and away then for Greg Inglis, and he's put to ground 10 metres away from the line. Down at the Auburn end of the Olympic Stadium, and now Civoniceva is 3 metres out from the line on just the second tackle. A mistake by the Blues, a mistake by Gallen. Thurston back, Lockyer away, joining in is Billy Slater. It's gone on to Israel, and Folau is grounded 5 metres from the line. Good defence on the edges from New South Wales. Lockyer then going away to Thaiday, and Sam is put down. Still they're inside the 10. Back to the middle of the ground. Lockyer, floating ball. Thurston goes short. Ashley Harrison, he's put down. 15 away from the line. And they're now through to tackle 5. Thurston puts a little chip over. Taken. Can they get it back? No, they can't. Line drop out for the Blues. Wonderful execution by the Maroons. And Michael Gordon, an important touch to shut it down and defuse it.
Well, can you believe it? Second tackle, the simplest of drop balls. Paul Gallen having a look at the defence coming at him. Out it popped. They look dangerous going right and left. And that's a precision finish there from Jonathan Thurston, the only man to have played every game in this 5 series winning streak as New South Wales get it underway.
Pearce with the drop out. It went 50 metres and Slater gave the ball back to Webb and he made a lot of ground. Tackled 30 metres away from the Blues line, so they set it up again in close proximity with Greg Inglis to play it now on the 20-metre line. Over on the eastern side, and Sivan Asiva it is that leads with his left shoulder, and he's met by 3 of the New South Wales defenders, including Manly's Jason King. As I said, since '83 there haven't been more inexperienced front rowers. Now Lockyer joins in and sends Thaiday back towards where the ball was played, and Thaiday again refusing to go down without a fight. Snowden, one of the tacklers, Ennis another. Danger coming. Lockyer away. Slater comes in. He's able to get away from the tackle. Gets it away to Lockyer. Lockyer back to Thurston. Thurston looking for a hole. The ball goes wide. It's out to Harrison, the back rower. Harrison lays it on the ground. It went back to New South Wales. And Luke Lewis has dived on it.
Well, a lot of State of Origin is turning negatives into a positive. They dropped the first one, but they've come up with 2 really good sets of 6 in defence. If the Blues can get this to the other end of the field now without a mistake, it'll do their confidence a world of good. Got to turn the negative into a positive.
This is King who played the ball. And now for Greg Bird. And Bird is just outside the 20-metre line. Matthew Scott in the 8, making the main tackle. And the Blues get it out to the 30-metre line. So Mitchell Pearce kicking out from dummy half. And a running Darius Boyd comes out 35 metres from his line and was able to beat the front tackler, and that was Pearce, the kicker. He'll play the ball 8 metres on his own side of the halfway. From Slater then back and finding Folau, and he'll play it right in the middle of the ground, just on the edge of the Harvey Norman signage. Of course, Harvey Norman again, great supporters of Origin football. Nate Miles. And he plays it on the 40-metre line. So Sivan Asiva goes second man, Thurston goes short, and Harrison is getting plenty of work out there on that left side. He'll play it 32 metres away from the line. And again, it's with Scott from North Queensland. He's able to pop it out the back, and again danger looms. And Lockyer, I just thought for a moment, was going to give away an obstruction. And now probably should have got a penalty, but it's towed ahead by Smith. It came off the boots of Michael Ennis. It's
Still the last.
Tackle count is not restarted, and that's turnover for New South Wales. Well, they've formed a permanent base inside their own 20. And played over there by Lewis. And this is Snowden who tries to bring it out, but Tony Archer blows the whistle and says that Queensland inside the 10, and maybe the markers weren't square at the same time.
And welcome relief there for the Blues. Most importantly, they haven't conceded points. They gave an early invitation to Queensland. They've repelled them on a couple of occasions now and just sucked them in, just taking their time. A little bit of fatigue out there. Mitchell Pearce, has he found touch? No, he hasn't.
And it's been right back into the field of play by Folau. Slater then had to go back inside the 10. He drew Morris before he called on Folau. Folau makes a run diagonally across the ground, and he'll play the ball 25 away from his own line. Played then by Israel, and it's gone on to Jonathan Thurston in his 17th consecutive Origin game. He's been there on all 15 occasions during the 5 championships won by the Queenslanders. And this is Matthew Scott, who's been very prominent in the opening exchanges, and this is his front row partner, Sivan Asiva, up towards halfway, and Cameron Smith just dallies for a moment before passing and finding Nate Miles. He'll play the ball just outside the Blues 40-metre line, and Smith goes over and finds Lockyer, and Lockyer to that left foot. He's 1 game short of equaling Alan Langer's record of most Origins at 34, taken by Hayne. Now with Morris, Thaiday is with him. And Morris will play the ball. Back for Mitchell Pearce, and Michael Gordon comes off his wing. He, as I said, he snuffed out that attempted try just earlier on. That's his first actual run with the ball, his first carry. And now the ball to be played by King, played on his own 30, through from Pearce. It's found Gallen this time. He tries to put a fend up in the face of Lockyer. Thaiday is involved in everything at the moment. And now Pearce hurries a kick. It does go down between winger and fullback, and Darius Boyd is with it. Slater will go out with him. No, he's run away from him. He'll take the tackle. Quite savage, actually, just outside the 20-metre line.
Well, it was a good kick from Mitchell Pearce because he found open space, hit the ground, and it needed to because New South Wales only picked up 35 metres coming out from their own end. Excellent Queensland defence as they come to the short side. Willie Tonga, claimed by Mitchell Pearce.
So the 26-year-old Willie Tonga, who won a grand final in 2004 with Canterbury, started his career with Parramatta. Miles again. Underneath that tackle, Smith gets out from dummy half, and with that left foot, he deftly puts it down to the in goal for Jared Hayne. Blues supporters will be hoping that the Jared Hayne superstar is here tonight. From the eastern side, they go one in to find Lewis, and Lewis will be made to play the ball between 20 and 30 on his own end of the ground. Gordon across, Barrett over. Now with Bird, and Bird just cocks the elbow up a little bit high-ish on Lockyer. And again, Thaiday is there protecting his captain. You find that when Darren is involved in defence, Thaiday seems to make it his job almost of being the Kevin Costner as they go to the right side of the ground off the boot of Ennis. Down to Slater, inside the 10. Here comes Billy the Kid, back to the 20. And the defence is there through Mitchell Pearce.
Really good tackle there from Jonathan Thurston. Jared Hayne was trying to get on his outside, and there was an opportunity out that side for New South Wales. The number 7 snuffed it out with a all-encompassing tackle as Matt Scott, heavy work, picks up 10 metres before Jason King cleans him up.
So that was his 5th hit up of the game, Matthew Scott. And now Petro will play it on the halfway line. 26 origins and 12 series in a row from memory. And now it's with Jared Hayne playing the ball inside his 30-metre line. A couple of the Blues unable to get back into the attack line.
That's a good run from Michael Gordon. Last 2 times Queensland have kicked the ball on the 4th tackle, turning New South Wales around. They're very bunched at the moment, the Blues.
So back and away from Pearce. It's gone through Gallen, short to Bird. And Bird, well, where's his flanker on the left? He took a look over the shoulder. He's looking for somebody. It was Jennings then eventually who gave the ball to Gallen. 10 straight series for Petro. And a slow play the ball from Gallen. Ennis goes to the middle and Barrett goes high. Down to Slater. Slater, oh, taken out surely by Beau Scott. Penalty goes to Queensland, and Slater hasn't as yet risen.
Well, it's a silly penalty from Beau Scott because the kick was a beauty. There was a real chance to attack that football. Kicking to the better side of the field. Israel Folau is over this side.
Without the ball.
That's just a blatant breach of that rule. Had eyes only for Billy Slater. Knew he was in the air. Knew he didn't have the football even. And made the tackle. The Dragon centre.
I don't think he's sorry, Rabbits, somehow.
I didn't say he was.
No, I think he's rattled up Billy Slater. And he's made his intent known. And Billy Slater will have to look for them every time they come through. But Billy's a champion. He'll bounce back. Beau Scott's only new at this caper, and he's just trying to stamp his mark on the game.
So Queensland to the 40-metre line, their own end of the ground. The frame of Sivanasiva it is, who'll play the ball. Taken down by Jason King. And now for Harrison with a bullocking run. High involvement from the lock forward. And that back row for Queensland, they have been together right through this. Miles, Harrison and Thaiday. Sam the only one to put the ball over the stripe. Thaiday goes wide, Inglis goes out to Boyd. Boyd goes for the accelerator, Scott's got him. Dragon on Dragon. And it's played by Boyd now inside the 20-metre line. And Thurston tries to go back to find his blindside players. He finds Inglis. And Inglis tries to get it away, but it goes into touch.
Now that little sequence there is the difference between New South Wales and Queensland with their confidence in attack. New South Wales, coming out of trouble, have had 2 opportunities to move the ball to the outside and create space. And both times the players either weren't in position or the player with the ball just conservatively held onto it. Not so the Queenslanders. One offload, they get the ball to Darius Boyd out wide and he's around them. Next time they want to go back to the left and go down the short blindside. Queensland are so aggressive and so confident in what they do. New South Wales conservative, nervous, not in position or not aware. You can't work out which. But the minute they break those shackles, they can compete.
Shane Hayne in his 7th Origin. Shane, 9 for Archer. And here's the Blues with Greg Bird being picked up and put down 15 metres out from their own line. And here's Gallen. And he'll play the ball 22 metres down the centre of the ground, away from his own line. Ennis gives it back for King. Maybe he's cocking that left knee a little bit high. But Ennis it is that passes the ball. And Pearce turns it in for Jennings. And he's the man, Michael Jennings, that people would like to see get himself involved in a foot race. Gallen playing the ball now just short of halfway. A rather dubious fend in that tackle. Or should I say in that defence by Gallen. Now Boyd has done well. Oh, that's gone in around the throat, and I think it's the captain.
Put his hand up.
Yes, it's Trent Barrett who's gone in on Darius Boyd.
He did very well to catch that, Darius Boyd. You could see as soon as it left the boot, the kick was one of those ones that move around a bit. He didn't hit it exactly right, Mitchell Pearce. And Trent Barrett hit him high, peeled straight away. Yep, I know, I'm guilty. I'm going to get out of here.
It's funny how the players know, isn't it? If that had been a Paul Gallen or a Luke O'Donnell, they'd have come from everywhere, the Queenslanders, to give it to him. But because it was Trent Barrett and he put his hand up, they went, OK, bad luck. We'll cop that, but maybe not a second time. And it's just how funny players have different attitudes to other players.
Cameron Smith in the meantime finding the line, and here's Scott brought down on the 40-metre line looking for work. It's gone to Thaiday, then to Thurston, second man Lockyer, second man Slater, now to Inglis. Clean ball, and one fend it worked, the second fend it worked, so did the third fend. This big man, probably the best in the world, Greg Inglis, at his best there as Lockyer gets the ball back for Harrison, and Harrison will play the ball 28 metres away from the line. Tackler was Cade Snowden. Now they go to Lockyer. He turns it back behind Sivanasiva to Slater to Thurston. Thurston looking at Thaiday. Thaiday may have run an obstruction. No, referee Shane Hayne said quite okay. Play on. 18 metres out. Now they're 12 metres out. This is Willie Tonga. And Tonga will play the ball on tackle 5. Playing it back for Smith. And Smith goes to Lockyer. Lockyer puts it back. He puts it back to the right side, looking for Big Israel. Oh, he had a chance. But it's come back off the Blues. This is going back out to the 20-metre line.
Yeah, it is the same. The last bit came off Folau. It was a knock back by New South Wales. Let's have a look. Knocked back there by the winger Morris, and then knocked on by Folau. An interesting play in that set of 6 there. The inside ball from Lockyer and Slater coming back from left to right is the same play they used to score the first try in Origin 2. Only this time they did it towards the New South Wales left-hand defence. They handled it a lot better this time.
Here's Jennings now. He fancied that he had Willie Tonga not directed marker. He probably did, but the referees just using a little bit of discretion and letting it go. No need to call up a stoppage on that occasion. Here's King with the ball. Peter Sterling now.
And smart play by Willie Tonga not to get involved in the tackle. Didn't grab him at all. He said, I'm still trying to get back, sir. It's Mitchell Pearce.
Now here's a chance for Barrett to swing it back on the inside. And I thought for a moment just a tiny crack might have been going to appear for Jared Hayne. To the blind side then for Barrett, and Barrett is taken down. Slater's underneath it, back in goal, and the play on is the call, so he left the field of play. Here's Billy now, full speed ahead, down outside the 30-metre line, and he's swamped by Morris.
That's why they tackle him without the ball. If he catches it, you're in trouble.
Folau there with Morris on him, and Gallen's there, and Keegan's there. So on the 40-metre line, Queensland's end of the ground, and Lockyer just turns it inside for Thaiday. Thaiday, he'll play it right on the halfway. Sivanasiva rolling it down the ground. He formed that wonderful partnership with Steve Price for so long, and it really was the foundation of where we are tonight. Here's Thurston now getting a ball from Scott, and he's flung to the ground by Scott. So there's Beau Scott on one side and Matthew on the other. The ball back now for Lockyer. He drives it across again. They're looking for Israel. He had a checkered passage. Ball loose, still a chance. Now it's dead, and it'll be line dropout.
Oh, there's palpitations every time the ball goes high towards Israel Folau. Last couple of kicks from Darren Lockyer, specifically for the big number 5. I think this kick goes up. I think it actually hits a New South Wales player. They're all looking at Israel. That's actually come off Folau.
And the guys up in the chopper doing a fine job, giving us a look at it from way up in the sky.
New South Wales have got to lock the ball up. Queensland have had 5 offloads now, and every one of them have been dangerous. And every one of them should have been prevented. There were men in the tackle, and they just didn't stop them from offloading the ball.
18 minutes gone, and Scott is slow to rise, and then he collapses to the ground as Sivanasiva takes the next play ahead. 25 metres out from the Blues line now. Almost to the 19th minute of Origin 3. Nate Miles, 15 metres out from the line. It doesn't bear any appearance to a dead rubber, does it? They're playing it at full throttle, and here is Lockyer to Thaiday again. Where there's one, there is the other. And Thaiday will play this ball. On the 4th tackle, it's swept away again to the captain, and Miles, I thought for a moment, was in for his first try. Plays the ball then. On 5, Lockyer again. They're trying to go quickly from Greg Inglis, and now Boyd! Darius Boyd is in to score! Darius Boyd has scored his 6th Origin try. Quick ball, left side play. Lockyer, Thurston, and then Greg Inglis. And at the 20th minute, Queensland lead 4-0.
And Craig Bellamy was very disappointed that Queensland scored tries on the last tackle in game 2. Well, they've made good decisions here again on the last tackle to create an overlap for Darius Boyd. They score first points.
Darius Boyd, he has really been a revelation. He's only 22, the kid. He debuted back in 06. It was a grand final winning year for him. He's made the Australian side a couple of times and has played in 7 Origins to date. Well, there he is, the Dragons fullback, and he's leading in a lot of the most popular player awards that are run in conjunction with the NRL. He has scored his 6th Origin try. He's won a premiership. He's worn the Australian colours a couple of times. 22 years of age from Mudgeeraba.
It's a great try by Queensland. Again, an exhibition of their skill, but it was 5th tackle and very poor defence by the New South Wales side. The winger was hanging back expecting the kick. The play was coming his way. He didn't move up. Other players moved up and in when the winger wasn't there, and then it just became routine for Queensland on the outside. They're the communication things and combination things that New South Wales have been failing with. I guess through lack of experience together and lack of communication at the crucial points. Queensland keep testing them in that regard and coming up with the goods. New South Wales made the try as much as Queensland scored it.
That's what Jonathan Thurston has got. Looks difficult. More often than not, he makes it look simple. From the sideline, he's put the draw on it, and he's got it. Beautiful goal. Wally Lewis sideline.
And I've got to agree with Phil Gould. The Keno replay will show exactly what sort of trouble the Blues were in. They only had 3 men standing on the right-hand side of the goalpost, plus the winger who was way back, which made it very difficult. Early passing was very quick by the Queenslanders. The last one showed beautiful delay, just holding it back. Make sure that you can draw that defender, the only one that looked like he was going to be able to stop the play, into a position where it was no more. A clear under the line.
Yeah, Jonathan Thurston playing on the outside of Darren Lockyer. This kick has gone over the sideline on the full. Back for a penalty. Ashley Harrison played a role in that last try as well as a decoy runner, giving them the overlap as Jonathan Thurston races to halfway, keen to get play underway again.
Well, you can see there that Sam is out of play and Israel had a leg over the sideline anyway.
Well, they failed to find touch from a penalty kick. Now they kick out on the full. They drop the ball on the first tackle of the game. And they're all the little things that add up. It's hard enough to beat anyone when you do that, let alone this side.
The most inexperienced New South Wales side since 2004. And Scott will play the ball. 22 metres out from the Blues line. Smith goes to Sivanasiva, drives the wedge, drives it just a few metres, and then plays the ball, and now Thaiday pushes it a bit harder and gets it to within about 6 or 7 metres of the New South Wales line. Telecast coming to live and exclusive on 9 from ANZ Stadium in Sydney. Thurston goes behind a player. Then Lockyer does the same. Here they go again. Slater goes out to Inglis. Puts a big fend up on Beau Scott. Luke Lewis hangs in there. And Greg Inglis has to succumb.
That was better because they were all moving in the one direction. The talk was good.
Boyd then goes into dummy half, 5 metres out from the line. And Harrison, Sivanasiva, Lockyer, Scott, and he looks at Thurston. Thurston says, take it ahead yourself. And tackle 5. They set Thurston up right side. Goes shot. Oh! Tonga, I'm almost certain, was going to go through a gap. And that was a bit of good fortune for the Blues.
You compare that defence on the previous play where they got Inglis over near that sideline to the 5th tackle play where they conceded the try, and they've been able to correct that error. So you've got to get it right the first time. But again, that'll do them confidence, and if they can keep that sort of communication up, they're in the game.
Leroy Lars is out there now for the New South Wales Blues. And it is now with Anthony Watmoe, who's also gone into the match at the same time as Leroy Lars. And now for Gallen, and Gallen will play the ball up the middle of the ground. 35 metres out from his own line. Michael Ennis waiting for his call, and he gets it on the right side from Barrett, and now to way to Lewis, and Lewis is able to leave a couple grabbing at mid-air. He doesn't make a lot of ground. Thaiday made the tackle. Jennings thinks there's a chance up the middle, and he runs about 7 or 8 metres before he's met by Nate Miles. Ennis for Barrett, Barrett to the air. Over on the eastern side of the ground, Hayne, well, he puts a kick on it, and it is rubbing off the World Cup, isn't it? Now the kick back to the middle by Michael Gordon goes over the dead ball line.
Well, that'll do me. That will do me. What is this? A little bit of a backflip out to the right winger. Who would even think to do that, let alone be able to do it?
So if Gus says watch out for the second kick, how dangerous the third one?
Penalty meantime to the Maroons.
I've never seen anything like that. I mean, they're not down the park, in and out the swings, just having a game of footy with their mates. It is on the biggest stage. And Jared Hayne comes up with this. Perfectly executed. But I wonder why. Quite brilliant.
Coming soon, bigger, crazier challenges than ever before. It's the all-new season, never before seen episodes of Top Gear, fast-tracked from the United Kingdom. And a welcome to our audiences taking us over there as well. In fact, welcome to all our audiences around the Rugby League globe as it goes to Lockyer, and then for Big Dave Taylor. 118 kilograms of him. Sometimes it gets over the 120 mark. 25 metres out from the Blues line. Taylor's tangled up in there in a tackle with Leroy Lars. He's had the jumper taken off him. Now it's gone from Smith and gone short into Thurston. Back for Ashley Harrison. And they're really hitting that side, aren't they? where Inglis is based, and of course Ashley is playing on that side. Oh, Friday, he might have been a bit fortunate there. Greg Bird tried to blindside him. Now Gallen said he hasn't had enough. We'll give him another one. The Bruce brothers working together. Now Thurston, the kick came off Barrett. It went back and has been played out. They've started the tackle count again. Slater now on the 20-metre line, puts on the pace, and he'll play the ball 11 metres away from the New South Wales line. Billy Slater playing it now for Willie Tonga. Tonga goes towards the middle of the park. Willie Tonga, born in Canberra, but played his juniors up at Cherbourg, and now it's gone away over to Thurston. Thurston again for Harrison, so they'll keep this rap going, you would think, although Lockie is looking urgent on the right side. Miles has scored his first Origin try. Nate Miles, in his 14th Origin game, he's won 10 of them so far, has scored his first try.
And he's having a dynamic season. The back row out there for Queensland in the opening 28 minutes has been quite superb. And Nate Miles there, a second runner on the outside, receives a face pass across the inside man, Cameron Smith, very select, in between Watmo and Bird next to the posts.
Well, Miles, of course, is such an integral part of this team. And as I said, that back row, they all came into the side in 06. Miles, Thaiday and Harrison. Miles has played 13 for 10 wins, 14 tonight. Thaiday, 11 for 8. And Harrison, 6 from 8. You talk of form second rowers, and we always talk about Sam Thaiday, but this fellow, he exploded off the blocks on night 1 of our NRL season, Nate Miles, and it would appear he's kept it going.
He looks a different player than past seasons. He's lighter, he's leaner, and his work rate is quite remarkable. Some of the chases off the football show what is required of a back rower in the modern game. As there you can see what Jonathan Thurston has in front of him. Pretty simple task.
Let's go to the sideline. Wally Lewis, yes, Walt?
Well, very important. You can see the importance of a set play coming for Queensland there. It was only a simple one, but they made the decision to simply target into some holes. There wasn't a lot of nomination going on by the New South Wales defenders close to the line. You've simply got to put your hand up and say, he's mine, I've got him. But at the moment, it just doesn't seem to be in hand.
Well, it's all Queensland territorially at the moment. You look at tackles inside the opposition 20. New South Wales have had none. Queensland, it would be up near 30, I'd imagine. There it is there, 26. Tackles inside the opposition 20 to none by New South Wales. You could put the under sixes on at the other end of the field. We haven't used that bit of ground yet.
As Kirk Gidley prepares to come into the game, that kick-off then for the restart could have gone over the sideline as well.
Well, this is a chance here for the Blues. He's ruled the Queenslander, and at Shillington has lost it cold, and he queries Archer.
Yeah, I hate those calls. You know, Shillington was fighting to unload the ball. Here's the kickoff. Yeah, well, I guess if Folau had his legs in the way, yeah, he could have got that over the sideline. They call held far too soon in these tackles. It's this relentless pursuit of an artificially quick play the ball stops big men like Shillington unloading the ball, and he's been penalised for this. This is ridiculous.
So the Blues win the scrum 30 metres out, and Hayne is quick to get into his back line and run off Pearce, and he lost the ball, Hayne. And it's a penalty, 2 men in the tackle and a strip. So Mitchell Pearce takes a quick tap, and Anthony Watmo centralises play. He'll play it 18 metres out, right in front of the Northern uprights, and Gidley's gone to dummy half. Pearce inside ball. Lewis is with it. One of the Panthers in the New South Wales side. Gidley again to Pearce, a second man. It's gone to Barrett, the same play. Haynes pass knocked on by Brett Morris. So that came on a fairly early play. 31 minutes gone in the game, and 12-0 Queensland leading. Friday night football on 9, live at 7:30 into New South Wales. It's the Roosters and the Rabbits, both in finals contention, and as usual, no love lost between them And in Queensland at 7:30 live, the Tigers take on the Gold Coast Titans. That's Friday night football coming up for you in 48 hours.
That'll be at Campbelltown. Be cold out there. Which one are you going to?
Well, I'd hopefully go to the one closest to home. Friday night traffic in peak hour. I think I'll come here if you don't mind.
I'll go to the cold one. You stay here.
Well, that's the bravery of the man. You're getting paid big dollars. That's where you should be going. Here's Shillington. He's on the 30-metre line and playing it for Cameron Smith, and then it's gone across from Lockyer to Thaiday. I notice that Cooper Cronk is out there now for the Queenslanders, who lead 12-0. Oh, gee, that was heavy on Cronk. That might have shaken him up a little bit. He's a tough little stormer, is Cooper Cronk. Now on the feet, Hayne. And he runs it outside the 20-metre line and still going and dragging Cooper Cronk with him. He'll play the ball in the middle of the ground on the 30-metre line. Phil Gould.
Just wondering where Cooper Cronk is going to play here. Now I can see Cameron Smith, Jonathan Thurston and Darren Lockyer. The halves and hookers are all there. Maybe Wally Lewis can help us, Wally.
Boys, I just think that if there's anything that's missing out there, it's confidence in the New South Wales side. They're simply going through the motions. When I just mentioned to Brad Fittler a moment ago, does it look like they just need somebody to lead the way, one man in particular? Freddie?
Absolutely. Just saw Jared Hayne there with one of those sort of runs you're talking about, Wal. But we need it backed up by a big kick and then a big chase. And we need to get an error out of these blokes, because other than that, we're just not going with each other. We're just not supporting each other, and we don't look like scoring at the moment.
That was an enormous tackle. Harrison and Shillington on Barrett. The ball is high, and Slater, another no, this one is a penalty going to the Blues. It looks like a late tackle on the kicker, is it?
Yeah, challenge on the kicker, I believe. Yeah, this is a good chance for the Blues. They desperately need a try, just for their own confidence, just to give them incentive. Well, that's the late hit on the previous play, is it?
Yep. As said, the Watmo, the background getting taken out as well on suspicion.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind that. But the Blues need a try, Roberts. They need just something to keep them in the game and keep their enthusiasm bubbling along.
Let's see if it's coming here. Gidley gave it to Pearce, and Pearce gave it to Gallen, and Paul Gallen will play the ball. Back to Kurt Gidley. He's taken the place of Michael Ennis, and now it's away for Barrett, and Barrett swerves, and Thaiday and Shillington, they don't buy any of it. Gidley it is, looks to the right, goes wide, Pearce there, Lewis cutting back in, trying to get rid of Dave Taylor, but Taylor hangs on. So Luke Lewis will play the ball for Gidley, and Gidley comes to his captain. Barrett goes short for Bird. Bird looks to get rid of it, does. Barrett gets it back. It's gone over to Pearce. Pearce throws the pass away. Bo Scott is with it. Puts a big fend on. Gets the ball back to Tom Leroy Lars, and he's tackled. 5 metres out from the line. They've got a couple of tackles left as Tom from Canberra plays the ball. Gidley goes away to Barrett, and Barrett's still going. Barrett is going to be made to play the ball a metre out from the posts at the northern end of the Olympic Stadium, and Gidley turns it in for Gallen. Gallen has scored under the posts. Is he going to point to the spot? Yes, he is. Paul Gallen has scored right under the docks.
And just what the Blues needed. It was a fairly average set of 6 up to that point, and I was about to be critical that there was no one really coming onto the ball with any gusto. Then all of a sudden, Barrett hit a hole hard, gets up for a quick play of the ball, and Gidley bounces out. Gallen is set play on the inside of the play of the ball, and he barges his way over under the post.
The Lock of the Year award, International Lock of the Year, 2 years ago. He's got some claret coming out of a scalp wound. They've got plenty of Vaseline on it.
Tony, change his jersey, mate. It's all over there. It's all over there. Take it off.
So Paul Gallen has scored his first try in his 8th Origin appearance. and Michael Gordon on debut. The goal-kicking duties from right in front, a nice easy way to get that going for him. And we go to the sideline for a comment from Brad Fittler.
How good's that, Rad? We've got a game of footy on our hands. We talked about a good kick. We talked about a good chase. We got an error out of the boys, and it came down to a pep play from Paul Gallen and Kirk Gidley. You beauty, game on.
Good on you, Fred.
He's pumped up, Freddie.
He is pumped up. We might have our 18th man out there shortly.
Rabbit's going to send a cheerio to all our people watching in regional areas through Win Television. Win provide a great service out there to all the people in the country and regional areas. They love their Origin football, and I hope they're all having a good time cheering the Blues on.
And while you're sending Cheerios and we're watching this ball coming back with the Blues off their own line to all the troops that are serving over there, you know, it's been very sad what's happening for quite some time in Afghanistan, and it continues to happen, but we know you're watching. And to the military police in Baghdad, in Iraq, we know you're watching. So to all of you people, you servicemen and women, we hope you enjoy Origin.
So that's good. So now Queensland are giving away a penalty. So that's what New South Wales have got to do. They've got to get them on tilt. They've got 6 back on the scoreboard, only 6 behind. And they're going to get the ball down the other end and really start to apply some pressure. Turn the tables a little bit, Rabbits.
There's a good play there by Bird. He was able to find a few metres. And look at Leroy Glass like a missile trying to break through. And it was left to Cooper Cronk to make the tackle on a man twice his size. Then Barrett behind Lewis and finding Hayne. And Hayne got rid of one. And Hayne almost got rid of a second. But Darius Boyd comes up with the boot, plays it on the 30-metre line. Lewis it is that runs a diagonal passage up to the 20-metre line, takes it to the middle of the ground. They're on the 20, and Gidley, the dummy half, goes back to Pearce and back to Barrett, and Barrett came to Lockyer, got it to Gallen, Gallen to Bird, Bird smothered in the defence of Folau.
That was good play, though. They were all deeper and running onto the ball. Makes a difference.
Last tackle then, they'll go to the air. Barrett gets his shot in. Smith took him. It's in the air, the contest. And the aerial is won by Boyd.
Well, that was Cameron Smith putting pressure on Trent Barrett. He didn't quite hit it the way he liked. It was a fraction too deep and a bit too flat, so his chasers couldn't get there in time. But a much better little period there for the New South Wales Blues. A couple of blokes leading the charge. Leroy Lars, that's how you run onto the ball. Tell him to get out of your way.
He was like a projectile, wasn't he?
Oh, well, we haven't seen it. That's why it stands out.
This is Willie Tonga playing the ball, and Cameron Smith no-look pass, finding Shillington. And you talk about players that have come ahead in the department of form. What about David Shillington? Here's Cameron Smith now.
He's a great kid. He deserves everything he gets, David Shillington. Wonderful young man.
And Lockyer getting the ball to him right now. Shillington, he started his approach run, and then he realised he was going to be too early, so he stopped and checked and went back to be onside for the ball from Lockyer, who drives it down the ground and just sucking up some oxygen, sucking up some time.
That's a field goal, Rabbits. He's drop kicked that. That's a field goal. Can you believe that?
I cannot. I thought it was a punt kick, but it was a drop kick.
Watch this. Watch this. How far out is he? Bang! That's still rising when it gets to the uprights. That must be 40-odd metres out. Doesn't he nail that? And that just rises and rises and rises and straight between the posts. He is 46 metres out, 15 metres in from touch, and the ball clears the dead ball line. Wow. What a kick.
Well, that is stupendous. 46 metres out, and it was a drop kick, not a punt. As I thought, and I think most people probably did at the time, it's just almost ridiculous to think a bloke would kick one from there. And as Phil said, it was rising when it went over the bar. Darren Lockyer adds a point right on half-time. Origin 3. 2 tries to Queensland, Boyd and Miles. To New South Wales, Gallen a try, which has really re-energised this game. Coming up in half-time, Peter is joined by Wendell Saylor, Phil Gould and Paul Vorton. All the first half highlights plus the latest prices from Tab Sportsbet. Wally Lewis and Brad Fittler also give us their expert opinions from the sideline with Andrew Voss. That's next on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Welcome back. Coming to you live and exclusive on the Nine Network. coverage of State of Origin 3, the concluding 40 minutes of Series 29, with Queensland leading New South Wales 13-6 at the break. A scoreline that took many of us by total surprise, and first to put his hand up as myself, that kick of Darren Lock is just amazing. Just incredible. But then again, when you're dealing with champions and superstars, megastars, I guess anything's possible. So Trent Barrett and Greg Bird are the head of affairs. I'm just looking at some of these percentages at halftime. The boys discussed it. The Blues have spent 60% of the time without the football and 60% of the time in their own half. Let's go down to the sideline. I think Wally's got an old teammate with him.
There with Trevor Gilmeister. Gilly, what did Mel have to say to the troops at halftime?
Oh, mate, talked about patience. You know, we forced the ball a few times. If we play our sets, mate, he seems to think we'll rack on 3 or 4 tries, and, mate, I'm pretty confident we will.
Now, you're the defensive coach. The boys were pretty good, all except for one tackle.
Yeah, we dropped off a bit on that inside there on the try line, but a little bit disappointing. But just seeing our blokes are trying to hit a little bit too hard, you know, in the chest sometimes. Sometimes we just got to make the tackle, mate, and we'll be more effective.
All the best for the second half.
Thanks.
There's just some little signs that we've really got a football game on our hands here. The Blues have won only 1 of the last 7 Origins, and Queensland 4 of the last 5 played here, which of course is a far cry from 1 from 11, which was the case until just a few years ago. As Gidley puts foot to ball, and the second half is underway. The final half of Harvey Norman Origin football, with David Taylor taken by the Blues defence and put down on his back about 12 metres up the field of play for Queensland to go away to Shellington, and he's able to thrust the ball back to Cameron Smith, to Lockyer, to Thaiday, and Bird is with him and puts him down 21 metres out from their own line. Queensland then with the first set of the new half, and Cronk is with the ball. Smith at dummy half, and the ball away again to Shellington, happy to put his hand up for a second run on the same set. That's the 4th tackle, and now Thurston kicks early and drives it down to Jared Hay.
And just on that first set there, Ray, Queensland, they didn't come up with too much adventurous players. A nice comeback there from Jared Hay, but their wingers stayed wide, and that kept the New South Wales defence spread. So even though they were keeping the ball tight, they were coming up against spaces in the New South Wales defence. New South Wales, on the other hand, they're very compressed, and that allows Queensland to do the same defensively.
It's Anthony Watmoe. A couple of metres into Queensland's area, and Gidley, the dummy half, Pearce through to Bird. Bird on the left side of the ground. The ball comes out, and it'll be a penalty to the Blues. Certainly there was more than one in the tackle. And that's the ruling from Shane Hayne on this occasion.
I think he got it available to pass, to be honest. I hate that rule.
Free kick taken by Gidley, and this is Bird. And he's lost it.
He's dropped it.
Players going into Greg Bird, trying to pacify him. He's absolutely filthy with himself.
And they're the errors that cost you. Why is Greg Bird hitting the ball up off a tap kick? I mean, you've got men there to do that job. He's a ball runner on a much bigger play. I mean, I don't understand why they get these back rowers to hit it up off tap kicks like that. Maybe I'm getting old, Rabbits, I don't know. But...
So Folau goes in from his wing position to take the old conventional 5/8 play, and now here's Inglis trying to outstep Beau Scott, but Scott equal to the task, and Michael Gordon hanging in there as well. Then Boyd back for Harrison. Harrison met by Lewis, a driving low tackle by Luke Lewis. Watmoe had a little piece of it. Cronk's gone to Shillington. Shillington back to the ground. Under 3 of the Blues tacklers, led by Gallen and Leroy Lars. There's the kick from Cameron Smith to end the tackle count, and on the on the feet of Hayne. He carries it back. He'll be made to play the ball just outside the 30-metre line. Tackled by David Taylor.
Yeah, Cameron Smith kicked on tackle 4 there. He didn't like the way the set of 6 was going. The Blues were right in their face, and quite wisely he turned them around. That's good leadership, smart play.
A run for Gordon firstly, now for Gallen, and that's the halfway line. Early stages of the second half of Origin 3, and Barrett turns it in nicely to Watmough. Anthony Watmough taken by David Taylor. Kurt Gidley sees an opportunity for a dummy half run. He skirts around. He gets the ball away to Beau Scott, and Scott will be made to play the ball 12 metres out from the line on 5. Gidley then across the face of Leroy Lars, and Barrett chips a ball in, and hands and players go everywhere, and Slater is forced over the dead ball line. Line dropout.
Yeah, he's saying Queensland have knocked this back, and Slater had to save the day. There's Danny Green, world champion fighter. Watching on. I think he's a Maroon supporter, isn't he? Or a Blue supporter? I can't remember.
No, very much. He did a motivational thing for the Blues just 2 days ago.
Yeah, Chris Lawrence sitting next to him. He's called in as, well, they called in an 18th and 19th man, New South Wales. And Chris watching on tonight as Paul Gallen winds it up 40 out and gets it close to the 30.
Well, that arm has gone up high from Shillington. A couple of the Blues not happy. Thaiday is playing the part of mediator.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I think the Blues are just settling into this. All of a sudden, the nerves are out the window. You know, the series is over. They've got themselves back in this game, and a little flow of possession. If they can score here, totally different ball game.
So Gallen taken high by Shillington.
It's been on the verge a couple of times, hasn't it? The game has just kind of simmered in a couple of those incidences. Paul Gallen puts his hand up to take it back. First time after being fouled.
So now they're 10 metres out from the line, and ironically Gallen taken by Shillington, and then Pearce turns it in for Leroy Lars. And he will play the ball 7 or 8 metres away from the Queensland line, play more towards centre field. Gidley goes back for Pearce, who holds it back and gets it to Barrett. Barrett on for Beau Scott. But Greg Inglis is solid in defence on the right edge. Then for Barrett, now for Gidley. Gidley in, oh gee. They ran into each other, and I thought for a moment it would be a penalty for Queensland, but he said play on. And here's Barrett on the 10-metre line, and Watmough lots of pass out. Gordon steps off his right foot, throws a speculator, picked up by Watmough. The ball to Barrett, thrust down to Gidley, given to Pearce. And Pearce is tackled on 5. Just out from the line, Gidley to Leroy Lars. He gets it out the back, Pearce. He thrusts the ball. Gidley's there over the top. Bird on Gallen with it. Gallen heading back to the middle. Gidley. I think he's over. Gidley, I think, might have scored, but they're going upstairs. Well, what ball movement was that?
They kept it alive on the last tackle after Tom Leroy Lars got the football on the last tackle. He wasn't the man. But at least he knew that they had no more tackles up their sleeve, so he got rid of it. It went right, went left. The defence was heroic as well. And Kurt Gidley, he's grounded short initially, but these New South Wales teammates are certain that he's been able to roll over with the momentum.
Well, his whole body is now in the in goal. This will be the better view. He comes down. You'd have to think he's on the line, and now his whole body is in the in goal. If the ball is on the line, they're happy. The referee's got the best view of the lot. I guess there it is. It's on the ground.
Yep.
That's a try. That's a try. The Blues are back in it, Rabbi.
He was brave too, Kurt Gidley. He had work to do there. He dived in from well out, knowing that was the only way he was going to get there, and it is a try.
(13-10) there. The deposed skipper, Kurt Gidley. Second try, 2 tries apiece now. Welcome to our audiences taking us pretty much around the world these days via pay TV. Well, there's probably nobody more deserving of a try than Kurt Gidley. He led from the bench, and now he's led by example to pick up the second try. Michael Gurdon, pretty simple position on the rugby league park, and he converts the try scored by Kurt Gidley, and they're one behind. That Lockyer drop goal is the difference now.
And there's still a long way to go, 32 minutes, but it might be the biggest 32 minutes in some of these New South Wales players' careers. They've got their foot on the till here. They are in with a real chance of winning, but it gets down to the back end of game 3. This is where the champions start to stand tall. So the Blues players have got to believe in themselves, believe in each other, and as a group really take it to Queensland and see how badly Queensland want this 3-0 result.
They didn't stop him as Leroy Lars brings it back with venom, but there were still 5 making the tackle on Gidley when he went over the line.
Leroy Lars then. He's really come back with purpose on a couple of these hit-ups. They've been conspicuous.
Well, back-to-back scores are the key, Rabbits, and particularly against Queensland. They'll try and up the ante here in defence and force some errors and get themselves back into the game. This is a smart move by Barrett. Got the offload, got the kick, 40-20 chance. Oh, and he's only just missed by a metre. But now they look as though they're dictating the game. They look as though they're in the control and into their stride.
It looked like it wanted to go inside the 20, and then it just absolutely sat on the point and did a right-hand turn.
It was good work from Barrett. They got the offload, and he looked up out wide. He saw he had numbers, but then he saw a real good chance of the 40-20, which would have been a killer play at this stage. And Slater quite wisely let it go into touch once he knew the danger was averted. But it's a nice little passage for the Blues. You can bet your life Queensland will respond.
So just outside the 20-metre line, scrum fed and won by Queensland, and Darius Boyd it is who goes away to the centre of the ground. The Blues $4 into $2.50, and Queensland $1.22 out to $1.50. TAB Sportsbet offering you live betting in the run, 1-333-90. But please bet within your means. Have some fun, but bet with your head, not over it, as it goes away now for Lockyer, and he drives it back down into the corner, and it's Jared Hayne with a spectacular take back in that corner.
And they're replying kind, Queensland, trying to turn the momentum again. That was just 3rd tackle. Getting New South Wales back in their own 20. Now they'll back it up with solid defence, looking to force the mistake.
Gordon with another run. He's been solid, hasn't been asked to do a lot, but he's been solid. And here's Bird making a break. It's Greg Bird out to the 40-metre line, but he's pulled down in a desperation tackle by Tonga. Now it's come over to Anthony Watmough, and he throws the pass to Barrett, and Barrett goes long out to Scott, who reels and finds Hayne. Now here's Hayne with broken defence. Can he do something with it? He's able to fend away from Greg Inglis, but Inglis comes from behind and makes the tackle on Jared Hayne. Passed by Beau Scott from Barrett. It went short to Tim Manor, who's out there now. Another one of the rookies, another rookie front rower. He plays the ball, Tim Manor, and it goes to Barrett's right foot. He rakes it back high to centre ground, and it's come down off Bird and landed with Slater. And Slater starts to make an incisive run. He's pulled down 25 metres out from the Queensland line. Here's Folau now, and Israel taking it to the 40-metre line. 7 tries in 7 origins for the big fella. But not tonight, not yet anyway. Now Sam Thaiday. He'll play the ball 8 metres short of halfway. Second half of the 3rd origin, and Sivan Asiva with the hard yards up the middle and certainly making an imprint. Now Cameron Smith, then Darren Lockyer, now Jonathan Thurston, inside ball, and it's put down out there by, it's Scott who's back on there now. Ball picked up by the other Scott, Beau. Dropped by Matthew, picked up by Beau.
Far better defence from New South Wales there. They're picking off the inside passes, and they're really getting their bodies into the tackles on the big forwards. That's a lot better. You know, picking a defensive centre in Beau Scott has his advantages, but there's been a couple of times tonight where you wish you had a faster and more creative centre there. Some opportunities on the outside, I'm sure, would have presented themselves. Beau Scott, because of his lack of speed, has ducked back on the inside. Now the Blues get another penalty. What's that? I think they've had 6 in a row now.
Well, it's 7-4, and they have had some penalties for players from Queensland who've been tangled up in the tackle. They've got up and said, well, I can't do anything about that. It's a good touch finder.
Matthew Scott appealed to Shane Hayne as if to say, he was holding me down, sir. It's Tim Manor taking it back. A lot of people have thought that this arrival at Origin should have happened before for Tim Manor. This is a good run by Jason King. Now the Blues are 10 metres out from the line. They're down by a point as Gidley goes to Pearce and then to Barrett, and Barrett to Gallen, and Gallen having a wow of a game. A shaky start for the chunky second rower, but he certainly turned it around. Here's Gidley going across to Pearce. Pearce puts in a kick off the back edge. Morris is after it. Folau covers up. And Folau asking to be tackled, and there he is, put down in goal. Not happy either, Israel. Greg Bird went in pushing and shoving. Willie Tonga went in on Bird. Fide's gone over there. So this is getting a little bit heated over there in the in goal.
He's not the peacemaker this time, Big Sam. Michael Jennings went in. He had to complete the tackle because Israel Folau beat the first New South Wales defender through off the Mitchell Pearce kick. Brett Morris goes through, goes over the top. And Michael Jennings came on and finished it off very strongly. And had every right to. Greg Bird, he disagreed with the reaction from Folau. And then the bowling ball came in to knock down all the pins.
Yeah, well, I want to know when they're going to get someone to stop Sam Thaiday doing that. He's done it a few times now.
Nothing to do with you. Don't go in, okay? Let's go.
Anyway, it's Origin. If they're going to make it open slather, then let it be open slather.
Okay?
But 2 can play at that game. This is easy. This blind shot, that's not smart. If anything, it's cowardly. That's not smart at all. That's not tough.
So the line dropout. And it's not bad. It's gone 55. Manor with the bring back, and they're good meters. He was galloping to improve the position 20 metres from the point where he marked it or was given the ball. Gidley on the 30-metre line runs away to look for a gap. He comes around them, runs a semicircle. He'll play the ball just outside the 20-metre line, playing it back quickly for Beau Scott. Now he finds Mitchell Pearce, and a little bit of misunderstanding there. It's with Anthony Watmough. It's knocked down by Sam Thaiday, picked up by Pearce, and he's restarted the tackle count. They've gone down inside the 30, inside the 20 with Jennings now. And Jennings will play the ball for Greg Bird. Now for Mitchell Pearce, and they're back now on the first tackle. Ball played on the 10-metre line. Gidley for Jason King, and he's rattled up by Sivan, Asiva and Scott. Miles a piece of it. Gidley there, Barrett away. Here's Hayne into the back line. Flicks it out the back. Beau Scott is with the ball. He gets it away to Gallen. Gallen's away from one, but Inglis puts him down. So Hayne stays at dummy half. Now through from Watmough. Out to Barrett. Barrett goes short for Mitchell Pearce. And he's shut down by Thaiday and Lockyer. 11 away, 4th tackle. Middle ground, Barrett, Bird, Jennings. 7 metres out from the line. He played the ball, and the kick should come to the right side. Bad pass for Barrett, but he got the kick in. Boyd goes up. It came off the Blues' hands. And it's a 20-metre restart ordered by Tony Archer.
Well, that's a good period there for the Blues. Some good defence from the Queenslanders have been called upon to keep them at bay, but they moved the ball around. They had some options on the outside. Neither centre able to get the quick hands pass away. They're both more ball runners than ball players, and that's where they died. But a good period there for the Blues, and some great defence from Queensland.
So Queensland 25 away from their own line. This man was responsible for that big hit.
Oh, wasn't he? That's got on Jason King. Got him airborne.
Ripper of a tackle. Here's Siva Masiva. It takes a great mystery, romance and action to deliver the best drama, and that's what you get with the brand new season of Rescue Special Ops. Australian drama at its very best, Mondays at 8:30. Queensland 8 metres into Blues territory now. And a little bit of a mishap there, and Smith it is, Cameron, who goes ahead off the play the ball from Nate Miles. He'll play it back for Jonathan Thurston. Slater wanted to go in there. Thurston pushed him away. Lockyer puts in a kick. It's in goal for Hayne. And there was no attacker arriving to put any pressure on Hayne at all.
And you rarely see Darren Lockyer make a mistake like that on tackle 5. Probably the grubber kick into the in goal gets the Blues under more pressure, but a missed kick there allows them easy passage out to the 20 metres. And we get down to 22 minutes to go, the game in the balance.
Here's Michael Gordon again, playing the ball 35 out from his own line. A big and warm and belated welcome to our audience right through Queensland. I imagine your numbers up there watching this telecast would be absolutely massive. You've got yourself a champion team. This is the first time really, though, this year that the Blues have tested them. You're leading by 1 in the Sunshine State, looking for a whitewash. And here's Jared Hayne. He's into the backfield, gets the ball away. Brett Morris can't take it. Well, I thought for a moment the star number 1 was on his way.
Yeah, I thought when he got into the clear that he would be unstoppable, but he tried to position Brett Morris on the far wing. That is a huge opportunity. Came off Sam Thaiday, brilliantly gathered by Jared Hayne. And Billy Slater had him covered, and well, Brett should have caught that. The coaching staff knows he should have caught it.
Yep.
Brett knows.
The Queenslanders catch him. The Queenslanders catch him. That's the confidence they have. And Brett Morris, just for a moment, looks up at the try line.
And even though they had a little bit of luck with the pass, hitting Sam Thaiday and finding the arms of the New South Wales man, they look better when they play direct. They're covering a lot of ground, going around sideways, eventually straightening up. But when they play direct, they've got the players there who can capitalise. Neville Costigan about to come into the game for the first time to stiffen the defence.
Scott, and that's Jason King. Not by surprise, Jason came in over the top of Gallen's tackle to return serve on Matthew Scott.
If I was Jason King earlier, I would have been looking for rescue special ops.
It's Darren Lockyer.
Neville Costigan will stir things up when he gets out there. He'd have been sitting there simmering away, and you can bet your life he looks to have an impact.
So the last tackle now for the Maroons. And Thurston kicks. Here's Slater working with Thurston, but that's well read Greg Bird. And Bird is taken by Harrison. Costigan has gone on for Thaiday. Played for Beau Scott. Showed it to Watmough. Took it himself. Picked up about 6 metres. And Sam, with the head bandaged, comes from the field. Gidley inside ball. Watmough working it up the centre again.
Making inroads.
Yes, they are, and the meters are becoming easier, aren't they, to find as this match deepens. And now it's with Bird, and Bird in an upright tackle held by Thiva and by Costigan and by Scott. Now it's played by Bird and come over to Barrett, and Barrett goes back to Hayne, and Hayne in heavy traffic got it away to Barrett. Barrett to Scott. Catch and pass. Right foot step by Gordon going away from his sideline. Good work. Keeping it alive. Boyd was the tackler. Gidley the dummy half. And then Pearce. And he puts a kick back towards Michael Gordon's wing. But Greg Inglis puts himself into the game. And he'll play the ball just out from his line. And Slater passes for Miles. And he'll play the ball. Nate got himself a try at the 28th minute. 5 metres out from his own line.
Yeah, it's been a good period for New South Wales. They've got the try. Probably should have had another one. And a lot of it started with Greg Bird making the bust at the far end of the field. And he did well, Bird. He got into the clear. He didn't kick like they've done in the past. He didn't try and find a support player with an iffy pass. He took the tackle and they continued on and got to the other end of the field at the end of that set.
Folau on his own 30-metre line. Lockyer puts in the kick, and it comes off the back of a New South Wales rump, and now it's with Morris right on halfway on the eastern side.
That's good pressure. You know, he's forced Darren Lockyer into 2 kick mistakes now. And we haven't seen that. We haven't seen it for 18 months, to be honest.
Tim Manor it was putting pressure on. Ennis is back there. Jason King lumbers it up inside the 30-metre line, right in the middle of the park in the Aussie home loans sign, and then it's from Ennis, Bird, Pearce looking, waiting, seeking, hoping. And he's tackled 22 metres away from the Queensland line, put down by Nate Miles. Michael Ennis then for Gidley, so both the dummy halves are out there. Haynes pass to Jennings. Jennings did well. Morris has taken. Ankle tap by Tonga. Held by Costigan. Jennings a chip, and it's marked in goal by Slater. That returns it to the 20.
No, patience. It's a big virtue in these last 18 minutes, and Michael Jennings didn't show any there. He went for the glory plate, and all he's done is given Queensland possession. Now 29 metres out in their own line, and that is only the first tackle. Sideline, Wally Lewis.
Well, that's 3 very poor last tackle options. A couple from Queensland, that one from New South Wales has certainly left them off the hook. But the man that I believe will be stepping up for New South Wales is Jared Hayne. Struggled a little bit throughout the early course of the match, but now he's got confidence in his tank. Look for him at every attacking opportunity.
Nate Miles playing the ball in centre ground under the tackle of Bird. The ball has found Harrison, and Harrison is put to ground right on halfway, and played back for Cameron Smith, who goes to Nate Miles. Miles is held by 4 of the New South Welshmen, giving him a bit of a buffeting while holding him in an upright tackle. Ennis was in amongst it all. Now it's gone away for Lockyer. Lockyer puts it high in midfield, and Hayne gets underneath it. Slater was doing an aerial, but here's Hayne now. He's gone for the pedal. He's gone down the ground, and he's pulled down by Cameron Smith.
Brilliant.
30 metres out from the line. Ennis, the pass, just jolting the attack as it went behind Michael Gordon.
And it came back to where the Queensland defence had reformed.
Played then by Gordon for Ennis, for Pearce, and now for Barrett. And Barrett gives the pass in for Snowden.
They've just got to get a little deeper here. They're getting tired, so they're creeping up flat. You know, someone's got to come hard onto the ball to breach this defence.
Ennis goes to the right side. Pearce is there. The ball is away for Watmo. He'll score. Watmo, is he able to get it down?
Oh, moderately he didn't.
Oh, wow. Wow. You know, how many Origins have been won on tries saved? You say it every year, but tries saved are just as more important as tries scored. And Billy Slater may have saved the game here for Queensland. How does he not score here? Slater, brilliant.
Held up for tackle.
Brilliant.
Playing straight, playing direct.
We just saw another example of the greatness of Billy Slater. The ball has gone to Barrett, and Barrett now with Bird. Can he get it away? Barrett's behind him and taken the ball to within 2 metres of the line.
Slater again.
5 tackles gone now. The kick across the ground, and beautiful pickup by Inglis. And Inglis will play the ball out on his 10. 13 to 12 in favour of Queensland in Origin 3. Thurston to the 20.
Well, they do it too often to be a fluke, the Queenslanders. They are the masters at saving tries. It's incredible.
Darius Boyd now playing it for Cameron Smith, and here's Petro straight ahead. And again, there's the 10 metres that he almost guarantees you. Cameron Smith, he pinches another 7.
Down to the last 15 minutes, the championship rounds. Game 3, last 15 minutes.
To the halfway line then. Slater for Scott, and Scott taken originally by Gidley and then over the top by King. Now it finds its way to Lockyer, and then he puts a kick high into the air. Haynes getting underneath it, so was Inglis, and it's back with Jared Hayne, and Archer will tell them to play on just outside their 10-metre line. Played by Hayne. Ball away with Michael Gordon. Gordon gets it out towards 20.
This is where Origin players are made, Rabbits. You've just got to push yourself beyond the norm now. Queenslanders have shown they can do it. The Blues have got to learn this.
is Jennings. Got a bad ball. He had to stop and go down and back for it.
Yeah, Wally Lewis pointed out the danger that Jared Hayne could provide. This is just the kind of platform from Michael Jennings to find some space in general play. He's just purring away at the moment. Good
Here's
run,
Gidley running off a Michael Ennis ball. He's gone through. He's got support coming. Ennis is still on his right and Jennings on his left. He wasn't held in the tackle. He got it away. Here come the Blues again. Leroy Lars gets the ball out. It's with Beau Scott. He beats one. He looks for the line. He passes. It goes to ground. Thurston cleans up, but he's found a knock on.
Well, Thurston's nearly got to be offside. You would have to think Thurston is offside if this has been knocked on by Queensland, and it was. Beau Scott went for the miracle pass back on the inside. Again, great play. Gidley, tired forwards, back up the middle of the field. That's where the Blues need to be attacking. Then he gets into the backfield and gets the miracle offload away, and they get their chance out wide. Again, Beau Scott, not with the quick hands, but looks to go back in field.
Does it hit Thurston on the back when it comes back from Beau Scott?
Well, I think Thurston's in front of whoever that was there, Miles or someone.
I think he might have touched it here, Jonathan Thurston. He might be the... Oh, no,
it's
you're
off,
right.
It's off Miles, and Thurston's in front of him. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's a kick at a goal for the win.
And Craig Bellamy just yelling out in his confined space there, patience, patience.
Patience? He should be blown up at the ref. It was a penalty. It was a kick at goal.
That's gone, so he still wants patience.
He'll be a patient himself soon, Craig. He's pulling his hair out. Now it's gone from Pearce and it's over to Barrett, and Barrett is put down. Solid tackle by the number one, Billy Slater again. Here's Greg Bird. Gus is right, though. There's enough evidence there to say it should have been a penalty. And they had a mile of time probably to go back and have a look at it. Somebody to give the tip to Hayne. This is Snowden. 13-12. Queensland. Ennis for Gidley, and then, good passing, and Beau Scott did well to claw the ball in. He'll play it again for Gidley. And Gidley goes to Barrett, and Barrett gives it to Leroy Lars. He beats Scott, and he goes back, and he unloads, and Gidley goes to the left side. Mitchell Pearce is there, darting and probing and looking, and he's put down and tackled by Nate Miles.
Needs some polish on the finish here. Keep the pressure on.
So here it is with Gidley, and Gidley puts a little kick in. The jump is on. It's come loose. It's come down to Morris. And it's 6 more tackles for New South Wales. Here is Hayne in the thick of the action. He'll play the ball just a metre out from the line. Jared Hayne playing it for Michael Ennis, and Ennis gets it on. It's out with Mitchell Pearce. Short for Anthony Watmoe. Takes it to ground. Steady as you go, plays it back for Ennis, then across to Gidley. And Gidley, who visited earlier to the try line. Almost on the uprights, he plays the ball. Ennis puts a kick off the back edge. It's a try for Bird. Greg Bird has scored. I don't think there's any doubts about onside. Maybe they'll check the plant down, but I think Greg Bird has taken the Blues to the lead.
Well, we're going upstairs, and it smacks of Cameron Smith, Billy Slater this try, but it's Michael Ennis. Greg Bird very jammed up the Queensland defence. They'd done well, they'd closed them down. And the kick, that is fine. Greg Bird is behind the kick of Michael Ennis. It goes in behind Billy Slater, and that is a try. And after trailing by 1, New South Wales are about to lead by 5.
He who dares wins. This was what, tackle 3? But they've backed themselves. They've backed themselves in this. This will be a try for sure. Greg Bird calls for the play. Michael Ennis responds. They're the plays that win you the big games. You back your ability.
And kicked it through the legs of the first defender.
And the partisan crowd rises. They haven't had much occasion to rise through the series, but Bird scores for them. Not seen in Origin since 2008. Greg Bird from the Gold Coast scores for New South Wales. Michael Gordon to convert with 2 from 2 so far tonight, and about to boot New South Wales to a 5-point lead. Gordon into the Southern Grandstand it goes. 2 more points to the Blues. They lead 18 points to 13 with 10 minutes to go.
Well, a 5-point margin is a nervous one in any game, let alone against Queensland, who are brilliant at the last play tries. With the Keno replay there shows 2 blokes backing themselves. Ennis with the kick and Bird with the call early in the tackle count. The Blue fans go up. They haven't had much to cheer about, but don't deny the passion that's here at the stadium at the moment. Great side Queensland, a long way to go, but the Blues have got their nose in front. Who would have thought?
Here's the try scorer being taken back by Folau and Lockyer. He's inside his own 20-metre line, and here's Leroy Lars.
He's been brilliant.
Punishing. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, he's dishing out punishment with the ball.
So it's Michael Ennis who goes this time to Cade Snowden, and Snowden, who wasn't required by Newcastle in that clean-out in 2007, I think it was. He's really turned the other cheek, hasn't he? Here's Gallen.
Well, kick now. Get it out of there. Most important after scoring points to get out of there. And that's what Mitchell Pearce will do. Doesn't hit it as well as he'd have liked. The Chase can make up to that for a little bit.
Sorry, Pete. Shillington's about to come back into the game.
The Blues have got to stay positive in possession too. They've really got to take some juice out of Queensland and not just reserve energy to let them attack. If you try to protect the 5 points, Queensland will get you. What you've got to do is stretch them, wear them out, make them chase. And that takes the juice out of them, so they're limited with their comeback.
Is Costigan. I notice Thaiday is about to come back into the game with Shillington. A couple of the Queensland forward big guns, and Cameron Smith tries to get a ball to Thaiday, but Greg Bird shut him down. Slater's the dummy half, goes to Lockyer. Lockyer back for Thaiday. Thaiday up towards the 10-metre line. Ball has gone to ground. Knock on, I think, has been called.
I love this play. This is a really smart play. Slater, Lockyer, out ball, in ball. The in ball for Thaiday, who charges onto it. It's a set play. Look, he goes left then right. They go out ball, in ball. And it just hits the gap in behind the play of the ball. Thaiday was looking for support, threw it up, threw it to himself, and then must juggle it when he hits the boot. Excellent play, particularly late in an Origin game. That's what Queensland are good at, but the Blues get let off there. Now, New South Wales have got to be really positive with the ball here. Just don't hit it up one out and make the tackling easy for Queensland.
Queensland. 5 series in a row, yet to win one 3-0. And here's Gallen taken inside the 20-metre line.
Gee, 8 minutes is a long time in Origin. It's a lifetime when you're in front.
This is Gidley. He's been good, hasn't he? Kurt Gidley. It's almost like he said, hey, never mind about the captaincy. Bring me on. Let me show you what I've got.
Well, another good charge there from Leroy Lars, and apart from the charges, he's got offloads away at the end of it. That's a bad mistake.
Smith, Thurston, Inglis. Inglis is marked and put away.
It was Cade Snowden who lost the ball.
So played by Greg Inglis for Jonathan Thurston, and now for David Shillington. So with Leroy Lars wreaking havoc, the other Raider has come out, Shillington, and he can do just the same. Queensland desperate for a converted try to give them a whitewash. Hello. The Menace has got involved in a little punch-up. It's ignited. There's punches being thrown by the 15, David Taylor. I don't think he knows who he's fighting, but he was throwing punches.
Well, he's throwing them at anyone in blue. Yeah, I think it was Shillington on the ground and Ennis, and Shillington reacts to something in the tackle.
High shot from Snowden, and then Miles retaliates. Ennis doesn't like getting a little bit of a forearm, so he picks the big bloke up and starts punching.
Well, it was
now
Miles.
They come from all over the place.
It was Miles.
You can hear the referee saying Ennis starts it. There is a bit of contact between Miles and Ennis while Miles is on the ground.
Let's have a listen to this with Tony Archer. We go to the magistrate, the Chief Justice.
Penalty's going against you. Getting up front. Hey, you get up, throw the first punch. Silly stuff. Right. David Shillington. David Shillington.
Yeah, they missed the one on the ground.
David.
Not that it probably deserved the retaliation that Ennis gave.
Don't run in, mate. Silly stuff. Hey, yeah, you know what's going to happen, though? You'll end up sitting down. Silly stuff.
Well, Shillington's got himself involved, according to Archer, unnecessarily. But there was a little bit of an altercation on the ground between Miles and Ennis, with Miles just letting a little elbow go, and Ennis retaliated to that. Here's a chance for Queensland. It's gone from Lockyer wide for Thaiday, and Sam Thaiday is pulled down 2 metres out from the line. So they're trailing by 5, and Lockyer circled by the troops, by the enemy. Slater! Billy Slater has scored what might provide the whitewash.
Watch him.
Well, it's amazing how often they do score the last try in an Origin game. And a little inside pass from Darren Lockyer. He had work to do, Billy Slater. And unfortunately for Michael Ennis, one of those occasions where you can't get personal. It's more about the team than getting personal, and Queensland have made them pay. Beautiful footwork to beat Gallen and Snowden.
So the conversion will be taken to send Queensland to the lead. And then we will have about 5 to go. Well, has there been better? Back at Origin 3, the climax, the Maroons. This kick for Jonathan Thurston to possibly provide them with their first whitewash victory since 1995 and Paul Vorton's Incredibles. Thurston to put them at 19-18. It looks simple. Hits it, gets it. They're back in front, the champions.
Kate Snowden and Paul Gallen just found out a little bit here on the inside. A little bit of panic, a little bit of tiredness, and the quick man. They just stopped and got on their heels there. See how they're sort of backing off, and the good footwork by Slater on the Keno replay gets it into the in goal. You know, we're 4:35 away. Now, I've seen 2 tries in the last 4.5 minutes of an Origin. There's anything in this.
The short restart nearly worked for New South Wales, but the ball bounced favourably for Jonathan Thurston. He's grasped 30 out from his own line.
So 4 minutes of the match to go. How many uses will that give them, Pete?
Well, a couple, enough.
Costigan is with the ball. He's 10 metres short of halfway.
4 minutes is a long time, Alex.
Has there been better than Slater? Look at Shillington. Shillington up the middle. Hayne did enough to stop him. And Ennis clings on like a leech downstairs. Ball to be played. 20 metres out from the line. Cameron Smith to Jonathan Thurston. Puts a little kick in. Turning them round. There's a chance here. No, Gordon is cleaned up by Greg Inglis. They'll get the football back, will they?
And that's why they're champions. That is a remarkable set of 6 coming off their own line after scoring points and getting a point in front. They've gone the length of the field, and Thurston recognises the perfect time and place to kick. Now New South Wales get desperate with the short kick and invite Queensland closer to the line. Look out.
Well, they certainly can't be blamed for that. The situation is desperate.
Look out here, Rabbits.
3 minutes to go. Queensland with a chance to go further in front. They're in front by the point. Miles, he will play the ball. Cameron Smith has got Lockyer away to his right, but he comes left for Jonathan Thurston. Cooper Cronk with him. Greg Inglis working it back through the middle. Put down by Gallen. who can hardly lift himself up, and here's Cameron Smith having a little look, just asking a question.
Well, they might be lucky to get the ball back, New South Wales. Queensland are that adept at getting restarts, coming up the right last tackle play. This is it now.
You'll go to Folau.
So the last tackle for the Maroons at 19-18. They lead. Here's Thurston's kick with accuracy, and Folau. He got a hand to it, but Jennings has come up with the ball. And just for a moment, I thought he might see open space. Here's Gidley.
He nearly got that, Israel, didn't he?
Now through from Barrett, it's found Gallen, and Gallen goes up the middle. He's almost at the 30-metre line.
Not over yet, Rabbits.
19-18 in favour of Queensland with just under 2 minutes to go. Barrett in for Watmough. Watmough back for Hayne.
Got to try and play to get Michael Jennings involved.
Here's Barrett. Now they're going over to Pearce. Intercepted by Folau. Went to his knees, got up, and is now off and going again. Put down eventually.
Bad luck.
So Israel plays the ball. Lockyer passes. Cronk steps. Ennis might have hooked him with a high shot. Referee saw it, said no, not enough to stop play.
Brett Morris in real trouble on the far flank.
Well, they've gone towards there. Thurston gets it to Tonga, and Tonga scores. Queensland are in to score. That's it. They have won it 3-0. The champions take 5 championships, and they do what they haven't done for 15 years.
Too good. Too good. When they got them outnumbered, they just execute so perfectly. Pearce went for the miracle play. Folau was there to pick it off. They did well to scramble back in defence here on the Kuno replay to avoid it, but once they got them disjointed, watch Lockyer and Thurston combine with decoy runners to put their man away on the outside. Clinical execution, brilliant stuff, under the pressure, under the pump, and in the dying stages of an Origin game.
It's obvious now Morris did that damage to himself when trying to tackle Folau, Peter.
He did it earlier, the play before. And Mal Meninga.
Happy birthday, Mal. 50 tomorrow. He was 20 when Origin was born. He had his 20th birthday on the day Origin was born. And now his team gives him 5 championships and his first whitewash on the eve of his 50th birthday.
And as we mentioned earlier, he now joins Wayne Bennett, Arthur Beetson, and our own Paul Vorton. There's men who have steered Queensland to State of Origin whitewashes. They're very rare. We've had 28 best-of-3 series. Each state had 3 coming into tonight. Well, Queensland will get a great kick out of the fact that they now have 4. They won up again on New South Wales.
Now, Israel has been given the job of kicking, probably by way of saying farewell to Israel, as he bids Origin goodbye for now. As I said, a little bit tongue-in-cheek earlier, I wouldn't like to think this is his last Origin, but for now it is. Israel from the sideline. Hits it, hooks it across the face, no goal, but the Origin series is officially over. The presentation to come. Mal Meninga comes down to receive his team. They have won by 23 points to 18. A 5-point margin to this side that has been compared with the great sides that our Wally Lewis led with great distinction. Many of us thought there'd never be a comparison made. Not a fair comparison, but by gee, these fellas are right up there. I would think equal with the best we've seen at Origin level. 23-18 in favour of Queensland.